This is a BeyondFeel, Lululemon's first ever shoe for men. I, a man, reviewed it from head to toe to help you decide if it's worth the buy. So the best perk of being a shoe reviewer is getting a lot of free shoes, including these ones. But rest assured that Lululemon did not get to see the content of this video before we published, because honestly they owe me one. Like, the amount of money I spent in the last few years on ABC pants and yoga mats is probably in the... You know what? Forget about it. So these are just their honest takes. Okay, let's bring it back to this stack of shoes. Why did the BeyondFeels bypass the rest and skyrocket atop my reviews list? Because when Asics releases a Nimbus, you know what you're gonna get.
Another one.
This is a mixed bag. I had reason to believe that the BeyondFeels would be amazing. I love Lululemon pants, I love their shirts, their jackets. I was probably one of the first men in the world to be able to stare at another man in the eyes and say the word Lululemon without embarrassment. But I'm also a lifelong runner, and like it or not, we tend to be a snobby bunch when it comes to shoes.
And once was quite enough.
We don't let any company waltz in willy-nilly and introduce a new kick.
All sport is not just a thirst quencher.
Do you remember Skechers? Skechers had to pay Meb, a Boston Marathon champion, to wear their shoes and tell everybody, hey, these are not that bad. They're not slow.
I'm running faster than I did when I was 27. The results speak for themselves.
Despite my love for Lululemon, I found myself doing the same thing and being overly skeptical of a new brand trying to permeate the shoe world and keep pace with Nike, Adidas, Saucony, New Balance, and company. You probably had a moment like that too, thinking, I love Lulu, I love running, but the two together? It's like pineapple on pizza, right? I like pineapple, I like pizza. Together, who knows?
I love pineapple on pizza!
So what do we think about these shoes? Well, let's get one thing out of the way. They're tremendous casual shoes. The comfort level is off the charts. They come in a variety of really cool colorways, including this all-white version, which enables what the kids of today call Riz. So on the sexy scale, I'm giving them an 8.5 because they fit in with any wardrobe, and I think they're the only pair of shoes in my great stack here that I could confidently wear downtown. By the way, have you ever seen someone wearing Alphaflys as they're just like going about their day downtown? It's like, what are you doing? Are you in a rush? The BeyondFeels are stable, they're comfortable, they'd make for good casual shoes, gym shoes, athletic wear in general, but let's get into the running. Looking at their main specs, you can tell that they're pretty average by most metrics. They're a little on the heavy side, but by no means an outlier. And let's dive a little deeper into how they're made. In fact, it's pretty simple. At its center is what Lulu calls its new supercritical foam, which is made to produce a soft and responsive heel-to-toe glide. And it's true that the shoe offers you a pretty cushioned ride without separating you from the ground so much like some of those bigger super shoes do. On top of it is this ventilated mesh that looks a lot like what we've seen from Adidas, Saucony, Asics, and company. It's breezy and stretchy and hugs the foot without being too restrictive. Then, the bottom is made of 100 or so grippy little pots that hold up respectably on slippery surfaces. On the run, they mostly feel like classic trainers. Their plushness makes them your friend on easy runs, but they do lack a second gear. As soon as you pick it up into a tempo, they start feeling heavy and a little clunky. Overall, I'm kind of shocked at how average this shoe is. I was expecting Lululemon, so a massive company, to go full disruptor mode and create something unlike anything we'd ever seen, which usually amounts to something ridiculous looking like this, or alternatively, create something world-beating like this. But instead, they managed to fit in perfectly in the market and create something that totally doesn't suck, but also that doesn't quite rule. So, in conclusion, the Lululemon BeyondFeel is fine. Try it. No, you gotta spice it up a bit. Well, what do you want me to say? Well, I don't know. You can't just say it's fine and leave it. But it is fine. That's a hot take in itself. The BeyondFeel is fine. I don't know. It's just not working. Try talking about how the shoes are just for men. Just for men? You literally wrote about this. Right. Sorry. It's fine. Just more interesting. More spice. More takes. So Lululemon is and stop overacting! So Lululemon is very much into this idea of gender-specific footwear. In March 2022, they released the Blissfeel, which was one of the first ever shoes made just for women. I actually wrote about the release a while ago because I was skeptical. That concept of gender-specific footwear had been rife with gimmicks for many years. Asics at one point released a shoe whose arch apparently shifted based on female hormone levels, and then there was Alison Felix's all-women shoe line, which seemed pretty cool, but then she had this one track spike valued at $2,500. Like, come on. But I did realize there was a lot of value in what Lululemon was doing. Apparently, it's common for biomechanical studies to test only on men and then incorrectly generalize the findings across genders. The BlissFeel, in contrast, tested only on women, and that resulted in a shoe that was wider in the toe box and narrower in the heel. And this time around, Lulu specifically focused on men's feet, and that translated into a shoe with a smaller heel-to-toe drop than the women's version, with more stiffness along the outsole and less support on the medial edge. All that to account for the fact that men, on average, apparently have shorter, flatter arches and wider heels. Now, personal variability obviously matters here, but again, I, a man, do find that these fit pretty well on my feet. So let's wrap it up. Should you buy the BeyondFeels? Look, I'm a big proponent of don't fix what's not broken. So if there's a pair of shoes that you already like, that you already train in, that are already your easy run kicks, don't change them. But if you're curious, love Lululemon as a brand, want to try something different, and want a bit of extra riz, they're not a huge deviation from what already exists out there. Who knows? You might just love them. You have nothing to lose, except for $198. Thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also follow us on social media. Now, happy running, and until next time.